A lot of people feel out of control about their money situation, and it seriously affects their mental health. I know it did for me and for Jay. Jay taught himself and then taught me an incredible amount of business skills to make money and improve our mental health. Because when you make money, it definitely helps that mental health, even if it doesn't cure it. Because when people have money, I mean, who isn't feeling more secure and happier and a little more calm and at peace? So today we're going to have a candid conversation about the recipe for building a profitable business from two people who have failed 33 businesses together. Us. So today we're going to be referencing a graphic that you made, which is literally called the recipe for profitable business.
From scratch.
And so we're going to put it up here. So Jay, in the graphic, you said that there's a CEO blend. What exactly is that? Can you explain, please?
Sure. Imagine someone was going to learn to swim or do martial arts. Wouldn't they need a few basic things minimum? A willingness to learn.
Yeah.
An eagerness to practice.
Yes.
Time in their schedule.
Yes.
Stuff like this.
Right.
The skill of building a profitable business or just doing business successfully also has some core foundations, some things that anyone looking to get into it just has to have. Unfortunately, a lot of people jump into business without having these.
Yes.
And that's the same as someone getting into competitive swimming or competitive martial arts without having time in their schedule or a willingness to practice or an open mind and an eagerness to learn. Like, why would you even bother?
Right.
But people do.
Yeah.
Especially in business. So the CEO blend is just a handful of traits that are necessary to successfully improve and learn business, learn making money, to be profitable. So you need focus and you have to have gratitude. And I don't mean, oh, I have focus and I have gratitude. I mean, if someone put you in a competition, the judges would say, well, that person was focused or that person is grateful. Like you would stand out. Like you have to truly have this so much that it radiates from you. And people are like, okay, I'm dealing with a focused person or I'm dealing with a grateful person.
Yeah, typically when people are focused on one thing, they're not on other things like Netflixing and
and I'm just saying if 50% of your circle, your network, haven't said out loud, oh my, you're a very focused person.
Yes.
Or, oh my, you're a very grateful person, or you're a very positive person, or whatever, you probably should not be claiming that label for yourself. Like, Don't be calling yourself a focused person when ain't nobody can see it.
It's true.
Don't be calling yourself a grateful person when it's the last thing anyone would describe you as.
Right. Yeah.
So then people jump into business and they want to tell me, the coach, oh, I'm grateful. Oh, I'm focused. And I'm like, all right, well, what am I supposed to do? Argue with them? But like, you're not.
No, you can't argue with them because your results tell you. If you're focused and you're truly grateful for the things in your life and your business, then the results are obvious to everyone and people will comment. Not that we really care what people think, but it's an indication of that other people can see what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot of singers who would head out onto the competition journey unless a good chunk of their friends and family and network and teachers and stuff had told them that they're a good singer. If someone has never, ever complimented you on your ability to sing, and you've sung quite a bit, might not be competition ready.
I mean, yeah, like even I was going to mention William Hung, but then I thought, well, no, because it actually worked out for him. But
no, I'm glad you brought it up because William Hung isn't what anyone would call a successful singer.
No.
He's a profitable singer or a money-making singer, but he doesn't get name dropped along all the other successful singers you can think of.
No, and I think he had his 15 minutes and people were like, oh, okay, you really did something. All right, bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he won for being a bad singer. He got his 15 minutes for being a bad singer.
Yeah.
He's not out there winning the singing. Same for business. You might be terrible at focus and gratitude and you might possibly make something, but ain't no one going to be looking at you as a successful business person or the example of a successful business person.
Well, I've had businesses where I wasn't focused and I still made money, It wasn't the money I wanted or intended to make. It was, trickles of money because I wasn't really focused.
Yeah,
So,
and you'll just end up dabbling, like someone
Yeah.
who's able to do 3 moves in Taekwondo or someone who's able to do the front crawl. It's like, great. Like, they shouldn't call themselves a swimmer.
yeah.
I mean, you can. I'm a swimmer.
yeah.
I'm a Taekwondo artist. Like,
Yeah. So,
oh, you mean you have a belt? No, I have no belt, but I practiced 3 moves for my brother. Then I lost focus and gave up. Business is a marathon. It's a long-term journey.
Yeah.
I don't care if you are good at leads. Like, that's one part of business that you learned somewhere. So my point is, before anyone gets into business or tackles the recipe for a profitable business or tries to follow the directions or whatever, you better be sure you're reasonably focused and reasonably grateful. And I can't tell you exactly what that looks like, but just like with swimming and martial arts, you should probably be able to suss it out. Like, you can tell if you're up to this task.
Right. Yeah. Like, so my kids know how to swim, and I was a competition swimmer. Are they swimmers? No, I don't think I would call them swimmers. They know how to swim. They can go across the pool from one side to another. Can they do it in the same way I can? No.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because they can call themselves swimmers all they want. When their child is drowning in a lake and they're not capable of saving them, like, how'd all that I'm a swimmer work out for you? Right? When push comes to shove and you need to succeed in the real world, all the labels that you've said don't really matter. Can you get results? When it comes time to swim in the competition, can you outswim the real swimmers?
Right.
So call yourself a real martial artist or a real swimmer or a real businessman all you want. When push comes to shove and it's time to make money or get out, can you hang? Right?
Right. Yeah.
So you either have that level of focus and gratitude, the bare minimum to be in the market and compete with all the other business people, or you don't. And it's a hobby and you're dabbling at it and you should just say, like, I know 3 moves. Like, I know a tiny bit about business. But if you want to claim any other label, go ahead. The chips will sort it all out when they fall, right?
Yeah. And I just want to point out that these are skills that are learnable and teachable as well, because like I mentioned a few minutes ago, I had businesses where I was not focused and I still made money. And you had to teach me what focus really meant, how to focus. Well, first by example, because I've never seen anyone more laser focused than you in my life. Seriously. So yeah, like, even if you're not great at it now and you don't know where to start or whatever, these are things that are practicable and learnable because they're just skills.
Yeah. I taught you how to be grateful for rejection too.
Yeah. It's funny. When I was making lunch, I was doing the same thing. Like, because I have to go buy more groceries. And I was like, that's a great, like, it's not really rejection, but a negative thing. Most people would be annoyed.
A chore.
Ugh, now I have to go do that on top of this and this and this and this. My schedule's pretty full the next few days. But I was like, no, I'm really grateful. I get to go and enjoy the fresh air and be in the sun before the sun sets at 4:30 p.m., and like but this is things I've had to practice to be grateful for and to see the positives in them. And so the more I do it on these little things, the easier it is for bigger things like business or my relationship or issues with my kids or whatever. So,
yeah. Well, speaking of big things, this recipe is pretty long.
Yeah. So we will move on to
we covered the CEO blend.
Yeah. That's the first ingredient in the recipe.
Yeah.
That was the first course. And the second course is market research. This is my department. And so a lot of people, they just want to make pretty things and do social postings and talk to people and like be cute on social media. And that's great. And I love that. I 100% love that people want to do that stuff. However, that's not what really needs to be worked on first. Market research is exactly what it sounds like, the research. So we have a client right now who, God bless his heart, started a business, invested a lot of money, and did not do his market research, did not know who his avatar was, did not understand how to get leads, did not understand that it was more than just the core stuff of the business. And he is suffering and regretting it now. So first is the avatar. Who is the customer, your perfect customer that you want to serve? This matters because you cannot serve everyone. It's impossible. So pick one person, give them a name, a gender or sexual orientation, how much money they make, what they do for a living. Like, really flesh out who your avatar is. Don't spend 100 million years on it, but you need to know who your core audience is.
Why?
Well, because then you don't know who you're giving your stuff to. You don't know who you're
So?
selling to.
Who cares?
Well, because you can't, like, if I'm selling fitness stuff, I don't want to sell it to a girl who loves to overeat and her goal is to be a sumo wrestler.
Why? What if she wants to buy it? I don't care.
She could want to buy it, but she's not my avatar.
Well, I'm saying.
A fit girl is my avatar if I'm selling fitness equipment.
But can't I just sell it to anyone I want?
Sure, you could, but they're not going to buy it.
But we just said she might want to buy it.
She might.
So?
But then she has to find you.
So? What if she finds me?
Well, if she finds you and she's not your avatar, more than likely she's not going to buy from you.
Well, I think what you're saying is every single customer a business gets requires some kind of investment. Time, money, resources. You have to either leave your home and be present at the party, or you have to stand on the street corner, or you have to wake up and post on social media. You have to direct your energy somewhere.
Yes.
We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have limited energy.
Right.
And if I direct all my energy into targeting fitness people and saying what they want to hear and appealing to them and moving them along the customer journey and getting them as new leads, I'll be good at it and I'll get practice and I'll be very efficient at it. But if I try to do the same thing for the non-fit people and to use their language and talk about what they want and move them along the customer journey, it's going to take way more energy and effort. And all the time I spend getting that morbidly obese person or whatever, I could have gotten 100 of my target avatar.
Yeah.
So it sounds like what you're saying to me is the main reason we target one perfect customer is so we can invest our time and energy in acquiring the customers that make us happy and satisfy us and fulfill us, not customers that are a terrible fit and we should be targeting later and that we don't really know how to connect with and that require far more investment than the wheelhouse that we're good at.
Right. And since this is a discussion about building a business from scratch, in the beginning, you're not going to be good at sales. So practicing on someone that's going to make it really hard and someone who's like really needs a lot of connection and hand holding, this is just going to frustrate people and lead to them giving up and quitting. But I know I've done that. I've tried to sell my product to my non-avatar. And while it's possible, it just takes too much work and it feels exhaustive at the end of the whole situation. And if they don't buy, then you're out whatever time you put into them. So having that avatar is definitely important to put your focus on that person because it makes it easier for you to sell.
Yeah. And what's that archery metaphor you use?
Oh, if you have 5 targets, if I tell you to shoot the target and there's 5 of them, you're going to look at me and say, which target? Exactly. So if you want to hit the target, you have to know where you're aiming for. So thanks. So the next one is tribe. And tribe is who your avatar is basically. So does your fitness girl, is she a vegan? Does she do yoga? Does she like to hang out with other vegan yoga moms? That's the tribe, right? This is who they are, what they're about, what they like.
And can your avatar or ideal customer be part of multiple tribes?
Yes, absolutely.
So then should I be targeting multiple tribes?
No, you're targeting your avatar still for that reason. Now, when we're going to talk about lead generation and those other tribes will come into play then, because if your yoga mom is into yoga and veganism and moms and childhood and parenting and reading and makeup, then those are all fishing spots and tribes that she hangs out that we can go and find leads from.
But we're still targeting the one single avatar.
Yes. Yes. So we're targeting the fitness mom who we mentioned, however old she is, the name we give her, whatever she's into. I mean, whoever she is, that person in each tribe.
We'll call her Vanessa.
Okay. For this example, we'll call her Vanessa. We're looking for all the Vanessas in the different tribes when we are getting leads anyway. That's not now. So then the next one is niche. And so our yoga fitness mom, Vanessa, has a lot of things that she needs. She's a mom, so she needs all that kid stuff. She needs, she's into yoga, so she needs the workout gear and the mat and the block things and the classes and whatever. She's a vegan, so she needs all kinds of vegetables and fruit and recipes and gadgets and whatever. But we are not going to sell all of those things. So what's our niche? So for Vanessa, we're selling her a fitness challenge, right? So then our niche then is the actual exercise that we're going to, or coaching that we're selling to Vanessa. So she's a yoga mom who's into veganism and fitness. She hangs out in a bunch of different places, but we are offering one thing.
Right. So our niche is fitness coaching.
Yes.
Or boot camps or challenges.
Right. Whatever. Fitness coaching.
And it's for Vanessa, the yoga mom.
Right. Yes.
Got it. And can we have sub niches? Like there's lots of fitness coaching out there. It's not a very narrow niche. It's kind of a broad niche. Maybe we're online fitness coaching, or maybe we're
online fitness coaching for moms between 30 and 40 years old.
Yeah. And we could even niche further. We're fitness coaching based on your cycle or whatever.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Okay, that's good. So our niche is we're offering fitness coaching for moms 30 to 40 years old who are struggling to conceive and track their cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Or we make it a punchier name, lunar fitness coaching for moms.
There you go.
Right? Or for fit moms.
Right. And so this is all just an example of this. We're not selling any of this.
But you got a niche.
We want you to understand the difference between your avatar, your tribe, and your niche.
And niching down to a very specific niche, because the narrower the niche, the easier it is to get your business off the ground.
Yeah, there's riches and the niches, even though that's not how you say that word, but whatever. Okay, so what is their burning desire? So what is Vanessa's burning desire? Well, she doesn't know how to track her period because she wants to conceive, and she also wants to be fit, and she wants coaching because she wants someone to help guide her. So this is her burning desire, and I am perfect, or we in our example are perfect to step in and help Vanessa, right?
Yeah,
to solve her burning desire.
Yeah, her burning desire is total natal body care.
There you go. Yeah.
And she needs a coach who gets that.
Yeah. And our pretend business will help her with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if she read about it or saw some copy or an ad, she'd be like, that is for me.
Right.
I resonate with that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Now I'm focused on this option in the market. My money is not going to anybody else. I'm looking around at this kind of thing.
Right. And while we're taking kind of a long time to explain all this, this should not take long in your business to decide this. This should not be like something that you need to pour over and ask everyone. Please don't ask your friends. Please do not ask your friends.
Yeah, this is not like performing neurosurgery on a mountain goat on the top of Mount Everest. It's pretty easy, normal thing that all businesses do.
Yes. And it should be like this very quick.
A day or two.
And if you do change your mind later, you can always change things, but I don't recommend it. So the last one is the Dream 100, the tribe influencers. Who in our tribe community have the biggest influence out there, right? Who has the biggest social accounts? Who has the most followers? Who are people listening to and paying attention? In the fitness world, most people know who Tracy Anderson is, right? She's huge. She's worked with Gwyneth Paltrow and tons of celebrities. And if she was in one of our tribes, we're just going to pretend she is, I would be on a mission to be her friend. I would do my best to make sure she knew my name. And we'll talk about how a little bit later, but the influencers are the ones that we want to be friends with because they will give us shout outs. And what do you do when your friends post content and share stuff with you? You share it, you comment, you tell other people about it. And this is why we want to be friends with Tracy Anderson or any big influencer in our tribe.
Yeah. It's kind of like when a non-Christian or non-Catholic wants to join the church. First, you join the church and you befriend the other church members. But soon you start making more friends and you get to know some of the oldest church members, the veterans. And then the veterans eventually introduce you to the pastor or the gospel singers or whatever, and you're moving up, and eventually you reach the tribe leader, the head of the church, or the regional church leader, or whatever. And I mean, the point is, if you're not actively aiming to get closer and closer to the influencers or leaders of whatever tribe you're targeting, you're shooting your business in the foot, because one single word from them, a shout out, a share, a pat on the back, them dropping your name somewhere, can blow up your business and give you all the customers you need for the next year.
Yes.
It's like, why would you sleep on that? Why would you avoid that? Why would you target tiny, tiny little people who are going nowhere and aren't going to share you, and they barely talk about their own lives anyways? Like, target the people who are hyper valuable and can blow the doors wide open on your business.
Yeah. And so for those of you who are thinking, oh, I can't do that. How am I going to be friends? She's a celebrity. She's this, she's that. So I'm just going to tell a little quick short story. When we first started our book, when we wanted to do our book, there was a photo that I wanted to use in this book. This is the photo.
That's Fetty Wap, the rapper.
And this photo was taken by a famous photographer. His name is Clive Srail. And I have never spoken to this man in my life. And he is a famous celebrity photographer. I decided that I was going to find this man and reach out to him and ask for permission to use his photo in our book. And that's exactly what I did. I went and Googled his socials, his name, and then I just wrote social media.
And you had nothing to show.
No. And we didn't even have the book done. We had nothing. I had like no grid, nothing. This man knew me from no one, right? And so I started reaching out on all of the socials that I could, right? Everything that was available. I sent messages, just like introduced myself and why I wanted to talk to him. And then on LinkedIn, I found him too. And that's where he answered me. He actually replied and he gave me permission to use his photo after like maybe 2 or 3 messages. And now that's not always the case, but I'm just saying my very first time out, I thought, why not? Maybe he probably won't even see it, but whatever, I'll just try. And it worked.
Yeah. And if you go and ask any successful business person how their journey went, they'll tell you, I struggled and did this and that and yada, 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 and had problems. And then eventually so-and-so shouted me out, or eventually this person bought, or eventually this happened and I reached this person and this person gave me a review and it blew open the doors on my business. Like,
it happened to Nicki Minaj.
It happens to everyone. Yeah. It always happens. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of influential people out there. Yeah. And they all buy things and love buying things and are always looking for new things. And when they find a new thing, they share it. But you have to get your new thing in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a gimme. And Russell Brunson talks about this in Traffic Secrets, his book. Mm-hmm. And he calls it the Dream 100. Make a list of 100 tribal leaders or tribe influencers that are related to your niche and go get on their radar. Badger them. Write many messages. Say nice things. Be their friend. Provide value.
Yeah, so that they see your name. So when they see your name in the DM for the first time, it's not the first time they've seen your name. So like I've done this recently with a lot of not a lot, but a few influencers, and it's working really well for me. I have to say it's working very, very well. So if I can do it, anyone can.
It works for anyone.
I know. A lot of people with mental health issues neglect the steps that we just talked about because they're afraid, they have social anxiety, they lack self-confidence. And this is one of the reasons we wanted to do this episode, to tie money in with mental health. Because like I said in the beginning, when your money is sorted or it's coming in and you feel more confident about it, your mental health, it eases it. And it doesn't cure it, but it does help.
Well, and the reverse can also happen. If you take time to work on yourself and improve your mental health, all of a sudden you'll find money opportunities are more abundant. Yes. And they're coming to you more and you're able to act on them and you're not so paralyzed or low energy and you're able to get out there and collaborate, and a lot of the anxiety disappears because you worked on your anxiety. So there's a huge direct relationship between money and mental health, and you can improve your money and now you can afford therapy and medicine and you can just feel more confident and more free.
Go on a freaking vacation and be alone and happy and feel good. Like,
right. Now you have some money to soothe your mental health. Or yes, you can work on your mental health and you've now empowered yourself to go out and make more money and have the high energy to excel at your job or start your business or whatever.
And the funny thing is so if your mental health is not that great and you start doing these things to build a business and to make more money, you'll get really good at this. And you won't even, if you're focused on doing these steps, your mental health will start to ease up and feel better. And one day you're going to go, hey, wow, I feel better. And it's because you put the focus on something else.
Well, on serving humanity.
Yes,
with your business.
on serving humanity.
That's a very valuable thing to put your focus on.
Yeah. And that in turn starts to heal that stuff inside. It's like, again, I feel like I have to keep saying it's not a cure, but it does ease it and it does help it and it does improve. And just like if you work on your body, it does the same thing. If you go to the gym and you start working out and you start eating healthy, your mental health improves and vice versa. Work on your mental health, then you want to start working on your body and eating healthier and being better. It's all connected.
Yep. They're like strands in a spider web. If you shake one, the whole rest of the web feels it.
That's right. So. Yeah. All right. So moving on. So that was the second course. And the third course is content.
Content? That's my favorite.
I know.
Content. I love making content.
Oh my God. No. Content is like 10% of your business only. Okay, so Gary Vee and
Alex Hormozy
and Gary Vee are pushing content all the time. But what Gary Vee has forgotten is that he started Wine Library on YouTube only.
A small amount of content on a single platform.
Yes, and he made that content once a week consistently until he started to grow and get more numbers and build a team where he could expand to go onto the other platforms. Alex Hormozy, same thing. He focused on one platform, and then as he grew in popularity, then he started posting on the rest of them because actually, if you know his story, other gurus, Grant Cardone, pushed him to be on the other platforms. But the man was already a multimillionaire. He already had mastered one platform and he was already set for his business. And so the content was more about building his brand and his audience than actually building his business. So these people are giving not great advice. So, Jay, why can't we just focus on making content all the time and just make tons every day?
So it all comes back to energy. Mm-hmm. How much energy does a successful Gary Vee or a successful Alex Hormozy have at his disposal? Like they can hire staff anytime they don't have enough energy to handle their business. Let's say they want to put out, instead of 3 videos a week, 5 videos a week.
Right.
For one human being, that's a lot of energy. But if you can just hire more staff and more team, you're already profitable. You've got tons of resources and capital sitting around. Sure. For someone like that, they can easily expand to more content.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But what if you're one person, a solopreneur or a small team of 2 trying to get your business off the ground? And you have to handle all the different parts of this recipe and all the ingredients and do all of them. Can you seriously afford to invest massive amounts of your time and energy in content?
No.
Is that a recipe for winning?
No.
Should we go tell all the solopreneurs content?
Ugh, no.
Do we want them to wake up morning till night working on content, editing their own videos so they can put 5 videos a week?
No.
Right. Do we want them to be on every platform and make it one size for Twitter and a different size for Instagram and a different size for YouTube and make sure they automate it all out and spread out all the content? No. Is that the right path for these people getting their business off the ground?
Absolutely not.
Right. That is the right path for the millionaires, the people who are already succeeding and they want to be everywhere. They want to be top of mind and have total brand awareness and market share. But
because doing that it builds the brand and builds the audience. It doesn't give you business.
Well, it does once you have all the parts of a business running.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, for a business from scratch, it doesn't do that.
Yeah, or for a half-built business,
right? Which
a lot of people have, a half-built business. But for someone like Alex or Grant Cardone or Gary Vee, who have a full-fledged running business, they can pay for more ads and post more content and get a return.
Yeah.
So that's why they're so thrilled about it. That's why they love it. That's why they wake up and say, guys, just have more aggressive ads and just put out way more content. And I'm telling you, your business is going to blow up. And they're so excited about it because it worked for them.
Yeah.
but it worked for them after they had a fully fledged running business and they had a ton of capital to spend on growing their teams. They have energy to invest in more content. But for a solopreneur or a small 2-man team or 3-man team or whatever, you guys got to worry about all the rest of the business. Just have enough content to get the job done. Just enough content to make your point, to get people to value your demo or sample your wares or whatever.
Right.
Because that's what Gary and them did in the beginning anyways. Just enough to get people to buy his wine or whatever.
Right.
Like, as soon as that's good, let it go. Like, chill and go work on the rest of the business. And that's what Gary did too.
Yeah.
And once your whole biz is stable, and this should always be the caveat with this advice, once your whole business is stable, you can then look to expand your content offerings.
Yeah. Alex spends like $20,000, him and Layla. So $40,000 a month on their social media, on putting all that content across the board. Across all social media.
Right. But how much did he spend on social media when he was starting his first business?
Right. Nothing. So if you have the extra $40K a month or $20K a month to spread your content across all the social platforms, good, do it. Good for you. But if you're, this is about building a business from scratch. If you have nothing because you're building something new, then maybe, pick one platform, master that platform. And when I say pick one platform and master it, I don't mean spend all your time posting content on that one platform. Please post like once a week if you have to.
Yeah. I always say a grid of 10 or a feed of 10 and you're good to go.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree 100%. If you look at my Instagram, if you go to Instagram, it's Sunshine Online 3, you'll see I have a few memes. I have some selfies. I have a promo photo of me with the book and a short of us on the podcast. That's it. And I've built different accounts up just by talking to people, doing outreach and talking to the tribe and blah, 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 and not posting any content.
I've made multiple accounts with 500 to 1,000 high quality posts that go nowhere, that do nothing. Like they have no leads and no customers and no buyers. Why? Why are these dead accounts? I followed the content.
You did?
And it was God tier level content. You couldn't even pay an artist or a team to make this level of content. And
yeah, you can see it at Rise Online at Instagram or Rise Online on Twitter. You can see all the content that he's made and posted. That's an old account, and you can go and see it, and it's incredible. That's actually how we started, was because I found that Instagram and fell in love with every post and amazing piece of advice you gave.
But if I only had 10, you would have read the 10, got a good vibe about me, and reached out. It's enough.
It would have been enough. I didn't need to read all 500.
Who does?
After 2, I knew I.
Do you ever look at someone's thousands of posts, or do you look at the first 10, make a conclusion in your mind, and go about your business?
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. Content massively open for starting a business from scratch.
They teach that content is king, but we teach that content is killer. It should only be 10% of your business.
At least to start.
Yeah, at least to start. Thank you.
When you're Hormozy level, you can go to town.
Yeah.
So then the question is, if I'm putting up a grid of 10 or a feed of 10 or a sample on the street or a demonstration or whatever as basic content, what are the key ingredients of that content, like sub-ingredients, right? So if I had a grid of 10, I would want some testimonials on it and get those however you can. There are whole blog posts and videos and books about how to get testimonials, but you need some, at least 1 or 2. There would be short, digestible quotes from me or memes or shareables of some kind. It's like appetizers or candy or treats, social media treats or content treats that people are likely to share. Maybe a survey or a poll or a what type of animal are you or whatever people resonate with, right? Cute animals, tie it into your business somehow, something. You got to come up with some shareables. So I would have testimonials, I would have shareables, and then I would have some samples of my offering, free samples of my offering. If I'm a fitness coach who's coaching Vanessa, the yoga mom, I'm going to have a little video of me doing an exercise, giving them a free exercise. Do this one. You've never heard of it. It's very unique. It's very helpful. Now, when people come to my grid, they see a free sample.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have a yoga book or a fitness challenge book, a PDF. Download this PDF by entering your email. So now I'm getting them on my list. It's a free thing for them. I'm not asking for any money, whatever. And so when someone comes to my grid or sees my feed or checks out my content, they see that I have social proof. People like me. They're not alone. They're not trying some fly-by-night scam artist. They know I offer real value solutions. I'm not looking to make people pay. I'm just giving from the heart. It's a free sample, like a free sample of any business. People love it. Then I have my shareables, which show like I'm a fun, friendly person, or I understand them, or I resonate with them, or I get them, or we're of the same tribe, or we're the same identity. We click and I use their language and so on. I'd also have something about my story. People like to buy from people. They don't like to buy from faceless corporations, at least until the corporation reaches a certain size. And that corporation always started with the founder that people connected to on a human level before they came ridiculously big.
Like Nike.
Yeah. People connected with Phil Knight in the beginning.
They did.
And ideally, your story ties into your business. Like you didn't just throw darts at a board and started a business. You have a reason for starting a business. And why did you choose your avatar? And why do you resonate with this tribe? And why does it matter to you? And why are you so passionate? Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, is very, very big on this.
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second just to add that choosing a business based on money is going to be more difficult for you to connect with people than if you start with why, and like it's a personal connection to you, why you started this business.
Not only that, you might make money with a business just looking to make money.
Sure, yes.
It's possible, but long term, you will actually worsen your mental health.
Yes.
I've never seen anyone who starts a business for money who ends up with God tier, all praise the king of mental health vibes, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. They're usually bitter and cynical and angry, and they have health issues and mental health issues. And I don't want to stereotype and paint everybody with the same brush. I'm open to being proven wrong or to find somebody who isn't like this, but super rare. Right. It is not a great idea for your mental health to start a business because I need money.
Oh, no. Start a business because you want to help people and you want to share your story. And you don't want people to suffer the way you did. And everyone who's ever started a business like this is successful. So.
Well, as long as they follow the recipe.
Well, yeah. As long as they follow the recipe. And all those successful businesses have followed the recipe.
Yeah, whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to get to that in the notes section, but this recipe applies to all businesses.
Yes.
So yeah, something with my story. And the last thing I would have is a hook. And a hook can be just about anything, but it's usually an image or video combined with words, like a headline, usually. But it can really be anything.
Right.
It could be a flash mob on the street. Could be your hook. But the free hugs guy, he went viral and got famous. And what was his hook? It was him. He was the visual, his person, his face, with the sign, free hugs. That was his headline. So it's almost always a visual combined with text or words.
Agreed. Yes.
And this hook, if it's done correctly, will generate curiosity, intrigue, and compulsion in whatever tribe member is viewing it.
Right. Yeah.
So, for example, if I wanted to get Vanessa to become my customer, when she lands on my grid or my feed or sees my content on the street or whatever, she might glance at the testimonial. Okay, feels good. She might see my free sample. All right. She might pass the shareable on to her friend. She's not a customer yet.
Right.
She might like my story, or actually she might not even read my story because it's like long and whatever. She needs an introduction to the story. This is where your hook comes in. It's something that captures people's attention, draws them in and gets them to dig further and sit down and read your story and absorb the thing and spend time engaging with your content. So I don't know a lot about the yoga mom world, but I imagine an awesome hook might be, man claims feminists do yoga wrong. I bet they would have to click.
I would click on that. And I'm not even a feminist. I would click on that.
Well, whatever. It's just an example. I don't really believe that.
No, I know that. I know.
But if I did believe that, I could write that. Or a less ridiculous example, the hidden reason the lunar cycle determines your fitness.
Oh, there you go. Vanessa would click on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she would.
Yeah.
And so this, especially combined with a compelling image, like a woman like lifting up the moon, or like with the moon between her legs, or like
Yeah.
pressing it or something,
Yeah.
will get them to click and be interested, and they'll want to read to the end of whatever you write to find out the secret. So as long as you don't give them the secret in the first sentence, they're going to be hooked.
Yeah.
This is a hook, an open loop. And gives you the chance to tell your story. Like, I'm going to tell you why the lunar cycle plays a role here, but first you need to know a little about me. And almost everyone will read through. They'll be like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I already clicked. I'm already invested. Same for on the street. If you give away a free sample, it has that bakery smell or that cookie smell, and people follow it. It hooks them. And then the cookies look really nice they're presented on a plate. And there's like, I don't know, a super elderly lady like beckoning you in, or a super hot youthful girl like showing off curves and beckoning you in, whatever. Some kind of hook. It works there too.
Yeah.
You can say, I'm going to offer you a cookie, but you should know something about this cookie. My grandma made it and it got passed down from generations, and explain your business story. And they're like, okay, I want one. Like,
yeah.
So you hook them up. Some people will just take it and go real quick, but overall, you need a hook. Doing this without a hook, you're screwed. And so those 5 components are all you really need in a content, like in a batch of content.
What are they again?
Story, hook, testimonials, shareables, and samples.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it. And our hook is me. So that was great. And I want everyone to remember, even though like you mentioned those things for content, 10%. 10% of your time and your business should only be on content.
You can do all that in a grid of 10.
Like that. And I wanted to point that out too. Like, he's talking about that for your grid. He's not talking about that to make content till the end of time, not in the beginning at least, since we are discussing a business from scratch. And I want to ask you a question, not you this time. I'm going to ask them. Do you know what money is? Do you know how to monetize anything? Well, we talk about that in our book, Eyes Wide Open, Volume 1. It's the world's first self-help coffee table book. And we're giving it away for free as a PDF. And the link is in the description, or go to eyeswideopenfree.com. And I'm just going to read a teeny tiny bit of one of the money pages in the book. The 8 steps to monetize anything. 1, choose a tribe to serve. 2, choose a niche to fill for that tribe. 3, rank your tribe's desires. Target higher ones. 4, refine a hook to entice them. 5, create a demo, sample, or teaser. 6, reach your tribe with it. 7, engage and follow up for multiple touch points. And 8, make juicy offers to ready buyers. Those are the 8 steps. We break it down a little bit more in the book, and we're breaking it down even more for you today. So go get your free copy to help you now. We love you. Okay, before the ad, we covered the 3rd course. Now we're going to talk about the 4th course. So 1 is to make friends. And I don't mean make friends with just anybody. This is the people in our niche. These are the influencers in our tribes. Those are the people. We want Vanessa. She is our main target. How do we get to Vanessa? We find the influencers in all the tribes that she hangs out with.
And even the tribe members.
And the other tribe members too. They are also great. These are also possible leads and prospects. So for 90 days, just spend time making friends. Don't talk about your product. Don't talk about what you sell. Don't introduce yourself. Just leave comments. Just reply to their stories. Just make friends. You're a human being. You've made friends before. You can do it again. Just go online, find the people in your tribe, and be friendly. That's it. Be social on social for 90 days.
Yeah, I always say that all relationships are the same. So that includes business relationships, intimate relationships, friendships, parenting relationships, and so on. So business is like going to a party, going to the market, going to the public, going to the masses is like going to a big party. Mm-hmm. And when you join a tribe, or post in their space, you are the newcomer to the party.
Yes.
So how would you behave as a newcomer at a party in real life? Would you talk about your business nonstop?
Hi, I'm a business owner. Nice to meet you. Like, no, that's so tacky.
No, you would say, hi. You would tell your name.
Yeah.
And when do we say what our business is? At the party.
When someone asks.
When someone asks.
Yeah, like this. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Cyn.
I'm Jay.
So nice to meet you.
A pleasure. How do you know Natasha?
Oh, well, she's an old roommate of mine.
I love it.
Yeah. How do you know her?
Met her on mountain climbing expedition.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. All right. Cool.
What do you do?
Oh, me? I'm a podcaster and a mental health advocate.
Very cool. What's the name of your podcast? I love podcasts. Are you on Spotify?
Oh, I am. We are on Spotify. It's called Eyes Wide Open, and we're on Spotify and YouTube.
Cool. How do I find it?
Oh, I have a card right here. Here you go. That's it. It's it. Super simple and easy. And if he hadn't asked me what I do, then I would have asked him so that in turn he could ask me.
Called reciprocation.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
It works on social too.
Yeah, it does.
And if you already know what someone does, then what do we talk about?
Oh, well, we talk about their family or their kids or where they're coming from or how their day was, or like a human being. When you meet other people, you always find ways to connect and to further the discussion.
Yep.
Ask questions.
At a party, you have to build rapport before you get to take the girl or guy home or set up another date or make new friends or get invited to the games or whatever. You have to build rapport. You can't just hang around as a wallflower and magically be invited everywhere and have people remember you and love you. You have to go out of your comfort zone and connect with other human beings.
Yes.
Business is the same between customers and CEOs or customers and marketers or customers in any public-facing part of the business. You have to build rapport with the customers first because customers 99% of the time only buy from people they know, like, and trust after having 8 to 15 touch points and interactions with them.
Yeah.
Nobody sees someone way over in the park, makes a beeline towards them and says, "Can I buy your stuff?" They need to see a sign first, and then a red carpet and arrows pointing the way, and then they need to
know a story,
see a crowd there, and then they need to wonder if they should go over, and then they need to go visit, and then you have to tell them the story, and then they're like, okay, maybe I'll try buying something. And even then, they might not, and they're like going to come back later.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with the organic journey of a customer and how relationships grow and build. And if you don't think business is relationships, I don't know what to tell you.
And if you have issues with social anxiety, if you have issues with anxiety speaking to more than one person or speaking with a stranger,
gotta fix it.
You've got to fix this. This is something you have to practice.
We're not put on earth to avoid all humans.
No. And I spent many years with social anxiety to the point where family members wouldn't invite me to parties because they knew that all I was going to do was sit in a corner and not talk to anybody and be just a nervous wreck. And why would anybody want me at a party like that? So I had to fix that. And how did I fix that? I practiced. And the internet was really, really helpful for me with this because my main issue was face-to-face meetings. So I got to practice a little bit online, a little bit here, a little bit there until I started feeling more comfortable. And then once I felt more confident and secure in myself in my online meetings and talking to people, that started to lead into the real life stuff. And the more I practiced, the more confident I felt. And believe me, in the beginning, I had to go into the bathroom at parties and hyperventilate and splash water on my face and talk to myself in the mirror and you got this. It's okay. Don't worry. No one hates you. And I really had to learn to love myself to know that other people were going to love me too. So I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah, I love it. I just wrote a big Reddit post on how to become comfortable speaking in public.
You did. Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to take a look at that, maybe we can link it in the description.
Sure. Happy to. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, make friends for 90 days. And
why 90 days?
Oh, because you don't make friends in one conversation. It's multiple touch points to make friends and cultivate that friendship. I'm not going to go and make friends with Vanessa and then the next time I see her, try to sell her my challenge. No, she has to know that she doesn't trust me. She doesn't know me. Why is she going to give me money or believe that I can help her in any way? She has to get to know me as a person before she gets to know me as a fake online fitness coach.
Yeah, it's like a pregnancy or a child or a plant.
Yeah.
It has a gestation period.
Yes.
Customers have a gestation period. Friends have a gestation period. And so you let them gestate for a little while. You nurture them and water them and touch on them here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out without getting too crazy or going overboard.
Right.
And eventually that friendship matures into a place where someone wants to know what you do and wants to know what you offer, and they're so positive about you and they feel so good about you, and they're like, you have such a good vibe and you provided a lot of value and I love our interactions and you're so friendly. I don't actually know what you do. I feel kind of embarrassed. Like, could you tell me? And now you've opened the door and they're welcoming your business and your solutions. And even the people who cold call are doing this. If you ever watch YouTube videos about cold calling, you'll see that the first sentence out of their mouth isn't, "Hi, I'm from Yoga Mom Central selling gym memberships and fitness challenges."
Right.
They always start with some kind of opener because they know they're cold calling and rapport is essential and we have to be friends before I'm ever going to make this sale. And so they'll start with, "Do you have a second to spare? Do you have a minute of your time? I don't want to interrupt."
Right.
And 90% of people say, "Yes, I have a second to spare." And the 10% that don't, they just let them hang up.
Right.
Or if they're really skilled, they'll say, "Not a second to spare." Well, then you need exactly what I've come here to talk to you about, right?
Yeah.
What? Why? The point is, it's building rapport. And even the hardest, most direct response cold callers still have to build rapport. They just try to do it way faster than everybody and they spam to do it.
So I just finished reading Alex Hormozy's $100 million Leads. And in it, he talks about warm outreach. So reaching out to people we know already versus cold outreach, reaching out to people that we don't know. And he says in there, we want to make the cold outreach feel like warm outreach. And I 100% agree with this. There's not a lot I agree with him on, but this I definitely agree with. So what he means by this is when we're talking to our friends, talking to people we already know, we have a conversation, we have a rapport we've built with them over time, whether it's 90 days or 90 years, it doesn't matter. And when we cold outreach to somebody, we could do this, we could try to do it that way and talk to them like you would your friend. But if you don't know anything about them, if you haven't researched them, if you don't know they have 2 dogs and a cat and they don't have kids and they don't want kids or whatever, then you can't
build rapport.
We can't build rapport. And so you can do this with a stranger. Like I've done it a million times. I've done cold outreach and it's worked really well for me. I just go to their page and I learn things about them. And then when I reach out, when I do DM or call, I mention those things. Hey, how is your son? I just saw he had a birthday. Happy birthday. Like, it's not rocket science. It's not difficult. And it's not like studying for the bar exam. It is just being aware and building rapport, building connection with these people.
Yeah. And having the focus, gratitude, and discipline not to need instant gratification.
Yes.
There's a gestation period.
Good. Yes.
You don't just water a plant once and expect it to grow fruit.
Yes.
You have to patiently, with discipline and focus, nurture and water that plant until it bears fruit. And if you're running a profitable business, all of your customers need nurtured and watered until they bear fruit and give you money from their wallets. It's a process. Nobody skips this process. If you love warm leads like Cyn and like inception and subtlety and slowly building a relationship and rapport, great. That's one way to do it, to nurture it until it bears fruit. Mm-hmm. If you like cold outreach like Grant Cardone and you just want to spam all day and you want to come up with snappy sales openers to build rapport right there on the call, you can do that too. What you can't do is skip rapport building or skip any kind of gestation period. Even the cold outreach people have a gestation period.
Yes, agreed. And I also want to make a point to say that when you are reaching out to people, one of the things that will be helpful to you is to reach out to people that you like people that you actually admire. So I have a list of people that I am really their followers. I really follow their content. I really watch their stuff. I really love them. I am like, I was a supporter of theirs before we became friends, and I'm a bigger supporter now that we have become friends and I know real personal things about them.
That's how I got Evan.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm trying to be their friend because I know what I have to offer. It will help them and will help their audience. I just want to be friends with them. Maybe later down the road, they'll be a customer and buy. I don't know. I don't care. My point is that because I chose people I really like, it makes it so much easier. And it's actually fun for me to talk to these people.
Yes. And you mentioned reciprocation earlier.
Yeah.
So by you showing so much interest in them, they're likely to reciprocate. And if you ask questions about them, this is where gap selling comes in.
Yes.
Or discovery. If you ask questions about them, what will reciprocation as a universal law do shortly?
They will want to do something for me in return.
In particular, they'll want to ask questions about your life and business.
Yes.
They'll want to know what you're about and what are you doing, because you've already given them so much value and positive interactions. You've shown so much interest in their life and you've asked them so many questions, and they feel like deep down in their soul, like, I have to ask back.
Yeah.
I have to ask back.
Yes.
If you go to a party and you ask someone what they do,
you have to ask back.
They're going to ask back.
Yeah. It just feels like the next thing
Logical
to do,
thing.
the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so again, this goes back to building rapport and building connection. And this is what we need to do to build the business.
And discovery, asking questions of people, is something worth emphasizing, because a lot of people who get into business don't realize the impact, influence, or importance of asking the customer questions. I know I didn't, especially for someone like me, because I feel like I know the answers to most questions and I understand everything about someone when I've taken a glance through their thing. I don't, or the things they want to tell me are irrelevant to me helping solve their problem. It's a very logical, direct process. I just want to solve this person's problems. I don't need to know you or understand you or ask any questions. I have a solution. You have a problem. This is not some kind of PhD course, right?
Yeah.
The thing that I didn't know or realize was that me asking questions of them has nothing to do with relevance or solutions or anything. It has to do with sparking that reciprocity.
Yes. Yeah.
If you don't ignite that flame of reciprocity, then nothing will come back to you. They will not reciprocate anything to you, and you'll feel resentful. Oh, I put in so much work into making friends like they told me, and I did outreach and I built these relationships and I built rapport, and they never gave anything back. And it's they didn't give anything back because all your stuff was one-sided and you didn't ask questions and you didn't do the work properly and you weren't effective in building rapport. And so you have not ignited that flame of reciprocity, and now nothing will flow to you, and you deserve to have nothing flow to you, because that's how physics works. That's how life works. If you don't water a plant properly, you do not deserve the fruit. And if you do not water a customer properly with discovery and questions and interest and care, you do not deserve for them to reciprocate and ask about you and want your solutions and ask what you have to offer and so on.
Yeah.
And this even applies to cold outreach. So I think we beat this topic to death.
Yeah. And the reason why I wanted to really harp on this topic is because so many people do not really understand. And I just have one more thing to say before we move on, is that I want people to think about the kind of person you buy from. Think about the last person sold you something.
Was it a cold person?
Was it the girl at the till who was giggling with you over your nails and you were so happy together and you bonded over whatever you were buying or whatever? Or was it the person who stood there and was like, yeah, can I help you? Yeah, okay.
But then some people argue, the last thing I bought was from Amazon and it was the coldest interaction ever.
That's true. I'm talking about the salesperson though. The last person.
No, I'm saying, but what if I want to run an e-commerce business? This doesn't matter.
It's possible.
Wrong. Why do people know, like, and trust Amazon so much?
Because they already know what they're going to get. They know they're going to get it quick. They know they're going to get exactly what they wanted, usually, and that it's going to be delivered to their door and they don't have to talk to anyone.
So yes, they do know all those things, but specifically, what kind of rapport does Amazon have with its customers. How's your relationship with Amazon?
It's great.
How's your neighbor's relationship with Amazon?
Great.
How's my relationship with Amazon?
Great.
So this key element of rapport has somehow been built by Amazon, the faceless corporation.
So
do you think they did active work into making this happen?
In the beginning, Jeff Bezos had to build rapport to get people to buy books on Amazon. And
people
so
were scared to buy books
people
online.
were terrified. And like,
give their credit card.
Now we're like, whatever. But back
he had
then,
to fight for every sale.
Yes, he did. And he had to build rapport because people were used to buying books in a bookstore and holding it in their hand. And what do you mean I'm going to get a used one? What? Like, ew.
Every profitable business starts the same way.
Yes.
That's the recipe.
Over time, Amazon has built the rapport with us as we are fast, we are efficient, and if we F up, we will fix it. This, and
have people had interactions and touch points?
Yes.
How many?
Millions.
Millions. At least 8 to 15.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the first book buyer got one book and they're like, okay. Then they ordered 2 books next time and it both went properly. Yes. And so by the time they bought 10 books, how many interactions have they had? How many touch points have they had? How many times has Jeff reassured them? How many times have they been proven right? How many times have they amplified the rapport and the relationship between Amazon and its customers?
Over and over again.
Right. And when they started, they had to do the same work that Nike had to do.
Yeah.
Nike went to the track meets and tried to get high school athletes and college athletes to run in their shoes.
One shoe.
Yeah, to try one shoe. Mm-hmm. They had to build real rapport. They had to really put in FaceTime. They had to wake up early and go do that all the time. Yes. Hundreds of times until someone
face to face.
Right. And as they grew, the rapport grew and the reputation grew. And now they can be a faceless corporation. Yes. You can click buy and order Nike online.
Yes.
But that is earned. That e-commerce faceless interaction is earned. They had to put in so much blood, sweat, and tears to get that level of rapport.
Yes.
So
that's true.
So let's not get carried away like, oh, Amazon doesn't build any rapport or whatever. Nike doesn't build any rapport. Wrong. They built crazy rapport in the beginning and they out-hustled anyone else who's whining about it.
It's true. All right. So I think you can tell we're both passionate about this topic because most people really want to gloss over this and they don't want to pay attention to it.
Let's just be straight up. Most of the business gurus are terrible teachers.
Oh, yeah.
For beginners, they're terrible teachers.
Yeah, it's like
they should not be teaching beginners. They should not even be allowed to talk to beginners. They're so high up. They're so past beginner stage. They've forgotten everything. I don't think they were natural born gifted teachers. They're not great at explaining things. And they're good and they're amazing. And I love them for their value because they're all that's out there.
Right.
There's no one out there that's a better teacher putting them to shame or whatever.
Not yet.
Exactly. And most of them get lucky in business and they don't have to learn all the steps. They were natural at this step or their dad gave them that step or this happened with this step. Anyone can get lucky at a few steps. But to know business from scratch for any business in any niche in any tribe, how to get to profit from zero, that's never taught.
No, and I told you the other day, I bet if Jeff Bezos wanted to start a new business from scratch, he would fail miserably because he has forgotten. It has been a very long time since he built rapport and did all the things and did all the steps on his own that he would be lost and be like, why isn't this working?
If you transported him to Mars or some desert island or something with a small tribe on it and he had to start a business, if he didn't speak the language and he didn't have all his networks and connections, he very likely would struggle.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for him and I don't know him or whatever, but it's not that crazy of a gamble or a wager to bet that he actually would struggle to pull it off and maybe barely get it up and running or something.
Yeah, because it's just like motherhood, okay? The first time I had a child, it was the most painful thing. It was super scary. I was very young. And I had another child 7 years later or 5 years later. And when I thought about it, when people were like, oh, are you nervous? I was like, no, it was so easy. No, it was not. But I had this weird thing that happened that I forgot how and painful and the depression and all this, the negative stuff. It was like my mind just glossed over all that stuff so I could have my second baby. And same for the third.
Yeah. And then you sound like all the business experts. Oh, it's so easy. Yeah. There's no struggle at all.
Yes.
It's like kinda not. If you follow the recipe and do it well, it can be relatively easy.
Yeah.
But is it as easy as any of those people are claiming?
No. And that's okay. So we're here to help with that. So to recap, make friends for 90 days. And then the next thing you do is to 1,000 touch points in those 90 days, right? So we want to reach out as often as they're posting, as often as you can. Repeating, like if somebody's only posting once a week, like you're not going to go every day and comment on that post.
Yeah, maybe hit them up once a week, twice tops.
Yeah, like that's it. And that's why you have the Dream 100. I mean, I have like Dream 5,050 or something ridiculous like that. So like Dream 100 should be the minimum of people that you start with. That way you have people to contact and reach out to and comment for those 90 days. So 1,000 touch points in 90 days to turn those cold outreach into warm leads.
Right. So with one tribe member, you reach out to them 10 times over the 90 days. For another tribe member, you reach out to them 5 times over the 90 days. Mm-hmm. For another tribe member, you reach out to them 15 times over the 90 days. And by the time you're done, it adds up to about 1,000 touch points.
Yes.
And if you've hit person A 5 times, person B 10 times, person C 15 times, you're on your way. Those are warm leads. You have made friends. Those are good interactions. And they are going to be asking you what you offer. They're going to be asking you what you sell. They're going to be asking about your life. You're going to have a decent rapport and a decent foundation for a business relationship.
Facts.
And when you get really good at this, your business grows and expands and blossoms, and then you end up looking like a faceless corporation. You have a huge mega empire, and people are like, how come people just buy from them and they don't build rapport and whatever? It's like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, you don't have to go that way. You can keep your business small if you want, but
yeah,
I'm saying.
Fair play. Okay, so the next thing are the yeses. So out of those 1,000 touch points, 100 of them will be interested in what I'm selling. They'll say yes, right? And out of those 100 yeses, one person will buy. Don't let that discourage you. It's 100 for one.
It's the same for Nike. It's the same for Kim Kardashian's Skins line. It's the same for Twilight books. Like it's the same for anything.
Every single business, the 100 for one rule works for everyone. Kim Kardashian has millions and millions of followers on her Instagram, yet each post gets a couple 100,000 likes and comments. Why? 100 for one. Nike sells millions and millions of sneakers, but they sold one in the beginning. They drove around to track meets and sold one over and over. 100, they had to talk to 100 college students to sell one pair of shoes.
And even for their millions of sales, they had to spend $1 billion in ad dollars.
Yeah.
So 100 for one.
100 for one. Even now, with as big as Nike is, they still are following the 100 for one rule. It is possible to break it and like sell more.
You can do better.
But
don't expect
to. But overall, that rule, the 100 for one rule, it's roughly about what you're going to do.
And for beginners, it's even more relevant. If you're a beginner at business, starting your first business from scratch, it's 100 for one, baby. Like you better put in the work. You need those 1,000 touch points. You get those 100 yeses, and of those 100 interested parties, one of them will be a buyer, and you got to be cool with the other 99 not buying. You got to be cool with it. Yeah. You have to be cool with it. You have to make peace with it.
I used to get so mad when like people wouldn't, but now I get it. It's 100 for one. We've had clients that were like, I've like been doing the outreach and I'm making friends, and I'm like, oh, how many people did you talk to today? 4. And how many people yesterday? 4. Like, well, it's going to take you 100 for one. So if you're going to talk to 4 people in a day, it's going to take you how many days?
Like 25 days.
25 days to get one person to say yes.
So you're going to have 0 income this month.
Yeah. So in 25 days, that's almost a full month. You made 1 sale.
Right. But if I hired a teenage intern or volunteer or a co-op student and paid them to go reach out to people and talk to people and make friends and build rapport, how many are they going to do a day for my money?
100, more than 100, probably.
Yeah, they're going to do a good job. So if you're a CEO and you're doing 4 per day and a teenage intern can outdo you, what does this say about you and your business? Food for thought.
I'll challenge you. So if you think that you can't do this and that I'll work with you and challenge you and show you how I do it. I can do 100 in, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours. Yeah. It's not hard. All you're doing is being nice and talking to people.
Yeah.
That's all.
And when you get practiced at it, then the real trick becomes avoiding Instagram algorithms and avoiding like spam bans because you're going so fast.
Oh yeah, that's a point too. Like, but I reach out to 100 people in a day, every day. Well, not quite every day because I do other things, but almost every day. Yeah. So, and that's why we have momentum. So that was the 4th course. And now the 5th course is sales. So Jay, can you break it down and explain to us, is sales just selling something? Just, oh, someone bought my thing? Or what exactly does sales entail?
It rhymed.
I know.
I'll tell you what sales entails without fail.
God.
To put you on the trail.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Just do your thing.
Okay. The ingredients in the sales course are your funnels, your offers, your value stack, your closings and objections, and your optional brand.
All right. So you mean a funnel like the thingies I use to pour like juice in a thingy?
Kind of. That's the metaphor, right? That's the business metaphor.
Right.
It's a pretty common metaphor. People in business talk about it all the time.
Yes.
It sounds kind of boring, but that's really what you're doing. You are funneling the giant mass of the public, 8 billion people or 100,000 or 10,000, whichever tribe you're targeting, 10,000 fitness moms, yoga moms. You're funneling them down to a small stream of people who are hungry, eager, ready buyers.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to sell all 10,000 yoga moms or whatever, but you're going to sell 1,000 of them.
Right.
And then you're going to move on to the next tribe.
The vegans.
Right. The vegans. All the tribes Vanessa belongs to.
Yes.
And you do that by engaging in those early touch points. The cold outreach to strangers who don't know you exist, if done well, will help them feel more comfortable with you and start up that reciprocity and move them along the funnel to warm leads.
Right.
They've become warm leads. But it's a smaller part of the funnel because the cold leads were many, thousands and thousands you outreach to, but the warm leads are 1,000.
Yeah, the people who replied.
Yeah, the yeses and stuff. Then you take those people and you make them a juicy offer, a really high value, seductive offer, one that's hard to turn down. And some of them will have money and be ready to buy, and some will just stay warm leads and still like you and be ready at another time. And that's fine. Now you have even less people who are actual buyers. And so this is the funnel. And then they buy and they become sales. And there you go. At the bottom of the funnel, you have all your sales of people buying your product.
Right.
And then more cold leads go in the top of the funnel and it repeats. This is business. And there's plenty of different ways to set up funnels. It's a very old concept. They were using it back in Mad Men days or whatever. And they still use it today on e-commerce or social media. And there you have it. It's just a key ingredient of business.
Right.
And like with a lot of these steps, you can succeed and have a profitable business even without executing the steps super well. Like you don't have to be the world's best funnel builder to sell with a funnel and make money.
Right.
Your funnel could have 1 or 2 steps and that might be enough. The biggest online sales or internet funnel builder that I know of is Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels. I mentioned him earlier because he really does understand traffic and he wrote a pretty decent book on it. But for a while now, there's been a competitor that I started using recently called Systeme.io. Systeme.io. And it's free to sign up and get started. So that's a pretty compelling hook to pull customers from ClickFunnels over to Systeme. That's a very good hook. ClickFunnels, but free.
Yeah, because ClickFunnels is very pricey. And if you're starting a business and you're not sure how to do all these things and you're unaware, it might feel harder. You may not have the funds to invest in ClickFunnels.com. And they're great and everything, but there are other choices out there.
Yeah. For example, a lot of YouTubers have a funnel as well, but they don't use ClickFunnels or System or anything. They just funnel people from one of their social platforms over to their YouTube channel. They spend time there. Eventually they click subscribe or join as an official YouTube member or something, and that's their funnel. Or they convert them into ad dollars and get paid by YouTube, and that's their funnel. So however you go about it, doesn't matter. The point is, a sales funnel is important. It's a key ingredient. And if you show me any business, I will show you they have one. So you don't get to skip it.
Yeah.
It's been around since the dawn of time.
Yeah. Even if you have a business where you sell things on Instagram or Shopify it's all funnels. It's all funnels. When I first started in business, the word funnel itself, it felt so cold and dry. I didn't give a crap. I was like, whatever. And I avoided learning about it because I thought it was like, well, I don't think it's necessary, whatever. But it is, because whatever sales you're doing, however you're doing it, you have a funnel, even if you don't realize it. So
if you made a single sale, it happened through a funnel, from cold to warm to hot lead to buyer, like whether you realize it or not. And the better you understand your funnel, the better you're going to be able to execute your business.
Agreed.
And what are you funneling them towards? You're funneling them towards your offer. No one gets the offer right away. Not even the cold outreach gets the offer first sentence, right?
No.
They get, hi, I'm so-and-so. They get some other interaction. But eventually, they go through your funnel and they're ready for your offer. And your offer has to be good. Has to be a high-value offer. People don't buy low-value offers. If I made you a low-value offer right now, you'd be like, no. If I said, how about you do all my work for the day and I spend time chilling with your family, playing board games and having fun? Fair trade?
No.
Right. Why would anyone say that's insane? It's a low-value offer.
Right.
But if I said, how about I automate your work so you can save money on staff, free up your time, and go spend more time playing board games with your family?
I'd be down for that.
And I'll do all that for free, so there's no risk to you. And after 3 months, if it's still providing you value, only then do you pay.
Hey, I'd be like, yeah.
Now.
Tell me more. I want to, like, how much is it?
Right.
Like, what do I have to do?
So juicy offers are a key ingredient. And the best book I've read on this is Alex Hormozy's $100 million offers, or whatever it's called, his offers book. It's leader in the field. I've never read a better book on offers.
Agreed.
Outstanding. If you apply what's in there, you will crush it with your offers.
But you have to have the lead stuff sorted and the connections sorted, please, first, before you focus on your lead.
Yeah.
Your offer.
Yeah, you can't just study the world's best eggs and farm up the world's best eggs and then magically have an amazing cake. That's just one step. It's one part of the recipe. So this is the best book I've read about offers, but it's just one part of the recipe. So don't get carried away.
Yes. And unfortunately, lots of his audience, his diehard audience, is focused on the offer and have no idea how to get it out to people. So.
Well, that's why he made $100 million leads to help fix that. Anyways, they're all just doing parts of the recipe, which is fine. I actually considered putting together a book list because I have read 1 or 2 fantastic books on each step of the recipe.
I think actually that's a great idea. Soon, when I'm finished, I'll be sharing my my PhD in marketing with people as well when the time is right.
Anyway, we spent a long time on these ingredients. I'll try to blaze through the last ones. Okay. Your value stack is basically summing up the offer and then throwing in extra value, adding on, stacking on value, kind of like I did just now. I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this, and it's free, and it's guaranteed. People love this rhythm of like this and this and this and this and this for you. And I'll throw in this. It's like a rhythm. It's a human rhythm where someone feels like they're getting more and more value, and the offer is becoming more and more sumptuous and delicious and valuable, and I have to say yes. Whereas if you just say, I'll give you this for that, it's still okay, but
it's not as juicy as you buy 1 knife and I'll give you 99 for free. Like back in the days of the infomercials, they used to do this all the time. It's the same thing.
Plus, it's free shipping.
Yeah.
Plus, yada, yada, yada.
Value stacking.
Yeah, value stacking. It's a human psychology thing. And I've never seen it not work on somebody. It always makes your offer better. Leaving it out is leaving money on the table and asking your sales to be harder. Why would you leave out this key ingredient? I guess I could make a cake without flour ever, but good Lord, that sounds so annoying, man. Like, it sounds so hard when I could just go to the store, grab some flour, or like reach under my cupboard, grab some flour, start making a cake, right? Let's just get a cake done, right? Yeah. You want to get all fancy? I want to do my cake without flour? Fine. It exists. It happens.
Yeah, there are flourless cakes.
You're asking, sure. You're asking for, that takes so much research and time, and you might not get it right the first time. Like I'm saying, the value stack, common ingredient you're going to want to have. There's also closings and objections. I almost don't factor these in because the way Cyn does our marketing and sales is very heavy towards the warm lead, rapport building style. She avoids the direct response, cold outreach, spamming style. She still does cold outreach, but she's very focused on building healthy, warm, long-term, loyal relationships. And when you get really good at that particular kind of outreach, it takes longer, but you generally end up with super fans. And super fans tend not to need closing and overcoming objections. You know who needs closing and overcoming objections? Hesitant buyers who you could argue aren't even ready to be sold. Like, you can push them into it with good skills. If you can overcome objections, and if you're a good closer, you can get them to buy. And it might be the right thing to do. It might help them and benefit them. But you could also argue that you're rushing them along on a timeline they're not ready for. There's a lot of controversy about this. What's the better style? Should I be a direct response marketer and just close them hard and overcome objections and get the sale if I know it's going to help them? Or should I take it slow and subtle and like be gentle and warm up the leads until they're loyal super fans and there's no objections left and they wouldn't even dream of objecting anyways and they're begging me to buy? Which is correct? You get people arguing all the time. It doesn't matter. The point is, you have to find some way to close the sale, and you can do it very directly and manually using your own logic and closing skills, or you can do it subtly and gently with gap selling and discovery and question asking and rapport building until they're super fans who are begging you to sell them. I honestly don't care. You could do 10% of one and 90% of the other, or you could do 50-50. It just has to be done.
Whatever feels best to you. For me personally, like you said, I do the long way, and it's long in the beginning, but by the time I go to make the sale, I've literally had people interrupt me many, many times in the middle of my closing pitch, and they're like, "You don't need to sell me. Take my money. Here."
Even recently, someone was like, "How can I give you money?" And you waved it away and said, "Look, honey, we're not supposed to talk about that right now. I'm here to help you on this call. Let me just help you and we'll sort out all the money details later." And it was like reverse psychology. It was like, what? Like, but it's how you do it. It's the way you like to do it. You don't like the hard sell, and you like to build the super fans, and it saves you time when it comes down to make the sale. You don't spend a long time on the sales call.
Right.
But it takes you more time in the rapport building.
Yes.
Other people, they spend very little time on the rapport building, and they spend most of their time closing the person and overcoming objections and answering questions, and eventually they close them and they make the sale.
Right.
Neither is right or wrong.
No. But I will just say that when you have mental health issues and you are very anxious about rejection and talking to people
and interrupting their day,
I won't lie and say like the
direct marketing is not good for them.
No, because the direct marketing,
takes thick
the
skin.
Cold email, it takes a lot. I've been told to F off many times And the first few times I cried, but now I don't really care and I'm used to it and it's no big deal. These people aren't ready or whatever. I picked a wrong target. It was my fault. Something I did was wrong, which is fine. But when I have to go into that situation where I have to like go hard on the sale and I have to really work harder to close, this brings me anxiety. This is hard. This just feels difficult. The other stuff, making friends and being nice, and that is me. That's natural for me. It's easy for me. That brings zero anxiety anymore because I had to practice that and get away from my social anxiety to be able to do that.
Right. So it's better for your mental health to take the slow rapport building approach.
Right.
For some people who have thick skin and their mental health is a little different or they have their own strengths and weaknesses, the direct response, hard sell might work better for them.
Yeah.
I do not
it doesn't matter.
Judge.
Really choose whatever feels easiest and best to you.
And it'll probably be a blend.
Yeah. And I was just going to say that. And I have also learned now, I've had a lot of practice though, that I can do both. I can get a bunch of rejections and I can also hard sell. I can make friends and get them to ask me what I'm selling or what my offer is. So like I've been able to do both. But again, it took a lot of practice. It did take tears. It did take talking to you. It did take help. And that's okay. That's why we're doing this video this episode, because we really want to help you to move past this, to get your mental health sorted so that you can make more money and be successful in your new business.
I love it. And the last part of the sales course is just optional. It's, a conscious, well-developed, well-polished brand. And a brand is just another word for reputation. So you're going to build some kind of brand anyways, but as you grow your business, you might start to see the bigger picture and care less about all the other ingredients and care more about brand awareness and top of mind and brand reputation and brand presence in the market and stuff like that.
And that's where...
But it's pretty optional.
Right. And that's where Alex Hormozy, Gary Vee, Mel Robbins, Tom Bilyeu, that's where they all live right now, is they're building that brand for themselves because they've done all the other stuff. They're ready to be there. So yeah, that's great.
I feel like this is already a long enough episode and I wanted to talk about the process of business, like how to put all these ingredients together.
All right. So those were the courses and the ingredients within each course for building a profitable business from scratch.
It's like a 5-course meal, yo.
Yeah. And so just like when you're learning how to make a 5-course meal, you have to learn all the steps and practice and apply all the steps when you're learning them. So you don't just jump into the 5-course meal if you haven't made one course yet. So we're going to make this into 2 parts because we want you to go and apply these things. Maybe you can't apply them all in the next week or 2 or whenever we do the next episode, but you can start applying the things that in the beginning that you want to apply, whatever stage you're at, or maybe you already know your niche and your tribe, but you haven't made any connections, or maybe you've made connections, but you're like, now what? And now like build a juicy offer and whatever, like go back and watch the video and find the spot you're at and apply it. And I want to know what place you're at in your business. Are you have no idea? Are you just wanting a business and you need help? Or are you in the middle somewhere? Are you on one of the courses? Wherever you are, we would love to help you to get more clarity, to get more focus, to really understand this on a deeper level and for your own personal situation. And so I normally only do 1 ad, but today I'm doing 2. So if you want help, please leave your name or leave a comment and ask for help, or send me an email, cynshineonline@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to set something up with both of us or just me or just Jay, and we'll help you sort your stuff because we love you and we know you can succeed, because money will help your mental health and your mental health will improve and the rest of your life will also shift and feel better too. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. Like, This may have been long for you guys, but it has taken me 4 years to really understand the concepts that we talked about today. We've had a lot of practice. We have failed 33 businesses together. We've also been successful and made money together. And we've helped a lot of people together and apart make more money. And we can help you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You're amazing.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So I just have one more question. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with our wonderful and amazing audience?
Well, we tried a different format this time. It was less structured and more of a chat.
Yeah.
So I haven't come up with any conclusion like usual, but I did make a special notes card to go with the recipe. Maybe we can put it on screen. And it had 7 notes on it. So I'll just go over them real quick. Note 1 was money can soothe some mental health, but it's not a cure-all. Some folks will need to upgrade their mental health, especially the CEO blend, before they're actually able to execute these steps. So it's important for you guys to note each ingredient and note the process of business and see where you're stuck and ask yourself, is my mental health preventing me from doing some of these steps? Is there something I need to fix first? Or am I just letting that distract me and really I should just buckle down and do these steps and it's going to help? 2, I touched on this earlier, but anyone can get lucky or be a natural with 1 or 2 of these steps or ingredients. Don't let that trick you. Just because you're good at one doesn't mean you magically understand all of business. And just because some guru lucked out and got good at 1 or 2 doesn't mean they understand all of business either. Someone who understands all of business can take this recipe and apply it to any business and fix them, which is actually note number 3. This recipe applies to all businesses. Note number 4 is about fixing your businesses. If you have a struggling business, fixing it is as easy as going back over this recipe, checking off every ingredient. Did I do this well? Did I do this well? Did I do this well? If you didn't, or if one is somewhat weak, focus on it, pick it up to speed, and watch what happens. Your business will flourish. It will blossom. And if there's multiple ones to fix, get on it and fix them all. Note 5 is some businesses deviate slightly from the recipe. A venture capitalist who spends their time investing in 10 specific businesses each year might look from the outside that they don't fall into this recipe, but they actually do. Because to find the 10 businesses, they have to go for 100 for one and find 100 lemons or 1,000 lemons. And then they have to build rapport with each of the CEOs of these businesses before they can even invest in them, and so on and so on and so on. So just like a cake, there might be some fancy cake out there that's a little different, or some fancy 5-course meal that's a little different. It doesn't matter. It's still, at the base, a cake. Edible ingredients combined and served. I was originally going to compare this recipe to a 5-layer cake instead of a 5-course meal. And just like a 5-layer cake, each section has to be performed well or executed well or cooked well, and then combined well into one full functional thing, right? One full profitable business.
Otherwise, you end up with a trifle like Rachel's.
Is that a friend's recipe?
Yes, because she made a trifle and it was like sweet, sweet, sweet. And then she put beef sautés with the peas in it because the pages were stuck. I love you.
My last note is the 4-hour work week is catchy, but it is a lie, especially for beginner solopreneurs or small teams. There is no 4-hour work week for you guys. A 4-hour work week is something that is earned by putting in a ton of work to set it up. If you read Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week, you can see there's a lot of setup involved, and it took a lot of time and effort and energy to get his life down to a 4-hour work week. So just like getting good at martial arts or swimming or cooking, you're going to need to put in the hours. You've got to make time for your business daily. You can take a rest day here and there or whatever, but if you're passionate about running a profitable business, and if you ever want to reach the 4-hour work week, you've got to put in your time, put in your practice, do the work, and execute this recipe with passion and flair and style. Like you have to pour your heart into it, like it matters. Just like having a child is a major commitment, having a business is a major commitment, and acting like it's some fluff thing that anyone can do and run just fine with zero effort for 4 hours a week is silly. Same goes for jumping in with zero research or knowledge. So there you go. That's the end of part 1. Any of you really gung-ho about your business can probably just go with these ingredients and some Google chops and figure it out from there. For anyone else who wants a full walkthrough, Cyn and I will go through that in another episode. Until then, make your money. I believe in you.
And that's why our book and this podcast are called Eyes Wide Open. And after today, you'll know at least part one of the ingredients that it takes to run a profitable business from scratch. So now you can watch this video here called 8 Steps to Monetize Anything, which will improve your mental health, help you make more money, and help you to keep your eyes wide open.
Keep rising.